We're getting ready to sell our house. Don't you wish it was as simple as planting a for sale sign in your front lawn? Unfortunately, even in a hot market, it's not. It's not that easy. Society's family unit is in crisis as less and less people are making the commitment of a lifelong partnership together. It has been normalized, encouraged, and easier than ever to just throw in the towel when the going gets tough. With time at a premium, start by spending 20 minutes per week gaining thought-provoking inspiration towards a journey of self-improvement, ultimately improving your marriage, your family, your health, and your home.
So for those of you who are new to the family order, we're actually trying something a little new and coming out with more video and posting that on our YouTube channel if you actually want to see our faces. But obviously all of the audio is still going to go into the podcast, wherever you listen to those. And then if you follow us on Instagram, we're actually going to upload our videos sooner than when the podcast drops. So you'll be able to see the full unedited video of us. Reasons for this: number one, video is doing so well, especially on Instagram. We want to be able to do that. Number two is keeping us a little bit more honest when it comes to our scripts, because we are not writing those out as much. Our time is at a commodity right now, as you will find out. So we're just kind of bullet pointing our scripts right now, but making sure that we gather resources when needed. And also just being a little bit more relatable. Literally, if you run into us on the street, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, we're kind of business casual right now.
I'm my own boss, and my boss is not required.
Hey, you're lucky I put on pants.
So we want to do video, but we don't have the time to do all the primping. So you know what? This is what you get. And full disclosure, we typically do record our podcast at about 8-9 o'clock at night. So
yeah, cheers.
This is a nightcap. It's not day drinking.
Yeah.
So yes, we did decide to sell our home that we have been in for 5 years. And that was our first home. And that we brought our son home to. Our daughter was 4 when we moved here. So, but we have decided to sell. So today we are going to go through 5 things that we have done so far before we've even made it official. This is the official announcement.
Yeah.
Friends and family know, because they'd be kind of mad if we didn't say that. But literally, this is what has happened this week.
Yeah. And it's really hard not to be emotionally attached. I will make that sort of like a side comment on this list that we put together. But it really is hard because, this is KJ's first house. This is the house we brought our son home to. This is, we honestly thought we'd forever own this home.
We always said it wouldn't be our forever home, but we would forever own that.
We wanted to rent it out, but we had to make a more logical decision and not be so attached to it, because we ran the numbers and started looking at things and said, we really need to do this. This is the right decision to make.
The first thing that we did was we decided to crunch the numbers. And so, like Ben said, we plan to build in about 3 years or so. And that might still be in the plan. I don't know.
Yeah, probably is.
But a big thing that has changed that has been the supply shortages.
The cost of lumber
and the costs going up. All of these new build homes that, keep popping up and things. It just seems like price increase. And it's all because of supply shortages.
Not just that, but you've known folks online that were friends of yours that were trying to build and have had all sorts of issues.
Yes, like windows not coming in. And so they, have had to extend their situations, and, closing dates getting pushed back. And that just seems like a whole lot of stress. So, additionally, kind of like what Ben talked about, we wanted to keep our house as a rental investment. But after crunching the numbers, we figured out how long it would take for us to make profit on this home for what we think we could rent it for, versus what we could make now. And I think that came out to like 15 years.
Yeah, maybe a little shorter, but pretty close to that.
Which originally was fine because we were like,
Yeah.
well, we're in this for the long haul, you know,
Well,
and
it's
everything.
another stream of income, gives you a little backup in case something happens with a job.
I mean,
or
we'll be what, 50 in 15 years, you know, like, you know, Cadence will be at college or out of college, hopefully. Braden will be going to college, you know, things like that, or you know, whatever they choose to do,
whatever they want to do.
But versus right now, the market is really hot, and we could make that profit right now and put ourselves in a really amazing financial position. In earlier episodes, we talked about our financial goals for this year and paying off our revolving debt, and then next year paying off Ben's truck, and then working towards financial freedom, meaning no mortgage, no student loan payments, things like that. Well, we're doing that with this sell. Not financial freedom, but we will only have our mortgage and our student loans. So with the sale of this home, we are able to put our down payment down and pay off our debt.
Right.
So that was kind of crunching the numbers. Also with crunching the numbers, kind of our cash flow right now, which on paper looks really amazing. You know, we've been paying,
pans out. And I mean, interest rates are low right now too. They were low when we got this house, but they're lower than that, and they might creep up. I don't know if there's a bubble that'll pop at some point. It could happen, but it's the here and now. It's also interest rates being low. What else can we do with a little bit of extra money that makes us more comfortable? How can we make that work for us?
We looked at even keeping this home and buying a new home, and we just don't have the cash on hand for that down payment right now on our new home that wouldn't have mortgage insurance, which is PMI. And I mean, that's hundreds of dollars a month. If you don't put 20% down on your home, you're losing hundreds of dollars a month in PMI. So it would take us years to save up the 20% down payment for our new home for the price point that we're looking at. So, and then also when crunching the numbers, we're squished. We determined we are squished.
This happened over a long period of time, over the last 19 months since COVID really broke out, and we've been on top of each other, not in all the good ways, but we've been squished because we're all four at home 24/7, and we try to work from home,
and it's not changing anytime soon.
No. So you're working from home could be forever. I'm grounded and home from the office for at least a few more months. We'll see what happens. You never know. There could be more shutdowns in the future too. But
our kids are getting bigger.
They're getting older. The things they want just seem to keep getting bigger. Our daughter needs her own bathroom at some point. We're running out of storage space. The closets are small. And there's not a lot of room to grow.
We're homeschooling. I'd really love for there to be a little bit more dedicated space for that as well. You know, when it comes to crafting and desks and things like that, versus our daughter having it.
Well, we also have a 1-car garage, and that makes it really tough.
And we don't even park the truck in there because it won't fit.
We can't. And we got
even workout. If it was completely empty.
We don't have a workout room. We don't really want to go back to a gym right now. We've got stuff out in the shed I really don't like out there, but there's just not enough room. Braden came along and took up a lot of space. What can I say? Yeah.
So first, crunch the numbers, especially with whatever market you're in. Now, if we were in a buyer's market, then we probably would be staying, I don't know, or at least renting or something, renting this out or something. But secondly, you want to get pre-approved. Don't even start looking at houses unless you're pre-approved, because then you're just wasting time.
You're doing a bunch of work or getting your hopes up even on something that you may not even have a fair shake at getting.
Mhm.
We had to go back and really get with our realtor and even have some conversation to figure out that we needed to get pre-approved to see what we could even go
Afford.
for.
Mhm. And not necessarily what we could afford, but what the bank wanted to give us. So we'll go into that a little bit more. But usually your realtor has a really great referral for your mortgage broker. We went with the same person that did our mortgage on this house.
She was great.
And she's amazing and we love her. We trust her, we value her opinion, and she gives it to us straight. Our realtor and our mortgage broker. I mean, they're a great team.
Sometimes they overshare a little bit.
Exactly. And but I mean, she's really the one who, I guess I could say, convinced me that this is the best route to go, and convinced me that I could do hard things.
Stressful things.
So sure. She's been really great. But in getting pre-approved, not only do you need to get in touch with the mortgage broker, but you need to get your money together.
Yeah, that's true. You got to take a look at some things and make sure that
so
you've
like
got your documentation in order.
Yeah.
You've got this, and this, all your ducks are in a row, because you don't realize it till something like this comes up, how scattered things really become over time.
Yeah. So in talking with our mortgage broker, we figured out that we can't use my income.
Right.
Again.
Again.
So long story short, literally right before we closed on this home, I lost my job. And so we had to take me off of the loan.
That was a peaceful time.
So my income was not used. And so Ben had to hold the loan completely on himself. Now I'm on the title, but I'm not on the loan. And same thing happened with this one. And that's not because I lost my job or anything. That is because I have not been in business for 2 years. It'll be 2 years in July, in this coming July.
You've been self-employed. Yeah.
Self-employed. Yes.
I wonder if that rule is going to have to change with all the shutdowns,
right?
And people working for themselves or yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So we can't use my income again. So Ben is going to have to carry this mortgage by himself. So although we are making more money than we have ever made in our lives,
and we have good credit scores,
and we have great credit scores, finally, the bank doesn't notice me.
Yeah, you're a lamp.
I'm a lamp. So anyway,
inside joke.
So that's something that we found out from our mortgage broker. So we've had to play with numbers, and she'll sit there and she'll do that with you. We figured out we need to pay off a couple of things in Ben's name, just to make the bank a little bit more happy. Like the truck.
We mentioned the truck. That's a big one.
So make the bank a little bit more happy, get that amazing percentage rate for the home. So, but you also need to have when you're talking with your mortgage broker, you need to have an idea of the selling price for your home and what you're looking to buy. And then obviously we're selling, so we're making a profit. That's going towards the down payment and paying off some other things as well. But you don't want to forget closing costs.
Yeah. Easy to do.
And that's an easy $20,000 to forget.
Mm-hmm. on a large purchase like what we're making.
Yeah. So you don't want to, especially in this type of market. When we bought this home, we were lucky enough that we didn't have to pay closing costs, and we did an FHA loan. So we only had a very small percentage down and everything. But on this new loan, we're doing a conventional loan. And because it's a seller's market, we're probably going to end up paying about $20,000 in closing costs.
And just know too, that in this sort of seller's market, they're not taking contingent offers very seriously. So if you have to sell your house before you buy, just keep in mind that if you haven't done that, they don't even look at your offer. They don't want to deal with it because they can sell it for above asking today. Yeah. So
we're not like in the clear on anything, but
no, we're somewhat uncomfortably okay.
Yeah. So after we got done talking to our mortgage broker and getting all of the financial stuff in order, then of course we reached out to our realtor again. She kind of already knew what we were doing, but talking to her, and she has an idea of the comps in the area. And mostly the question for us is that we asked her was, do you think we will get out of this house what we want, because the only way we can get the house we want is if we get what we need from this house.
And she's an expert in this. She's been doing it not only for a long time, but she has experience on some of the dynamics going out in the market right now, what's happening with buyers and sellers, what are some sticking points, what are things, and just for instance, people want things ready to go. They don't want to walk into a house, even at an entry-level house, and have to do a bunch of work and have a DIY fixer-upper situation. They may accept a few things, but they don't want this laundry list of just things that have to be addressed, and then they need things updated, think bathrooms, think kitchen, things like that.
Luckily, the things that we didn't get fixed on this house over the last 5 years, we've tackled.
We have.
So, and bring your realtor out to do a walkthrough. So we had that done with her this week, and I guess I wasn't expecting it.
Very thorough.
It's very thorough.
She acted like an inspector.
Yeah.
That was pointing all these little things out, and at the end, you're like, "Oh, what a piece of crap this place is!" All of a sudden, I was feeling good about my house until that. I
thought I was a clean person.
I felt like I got kicked in the nuts. I was mad.
Yes. All the things.
Briefly, we love you. We're just kidding. Just kidding.
So that leads us into the fourth thing to do before even listing your house is to get on those repairs, which, like we said, over the last 5 years, we've been tackling things.
Yep.
And we've said that in some of our episodes, the capital improvements that we put into our house and things over the years. And actually, our realtor, we did a list today of all the things, and pulled so many receipts and documents, which we'll go through, but we're at about $30,000 that we have put into this house since we moved in 5 years ago, which is incredible when you see that number on a piece of paper.
That doesn't include all of the
little things.
Scott's like weed and feed and fertilizers and grass seed and all the landscaping.
That doesn't include all the smart home devices, because those are coming with us, but things like that. But so definitely get on those repairs, the curb appeal, such as that repainting or touch-ups, cleaning, fresh mulch, cement repairs,
like our front step and the sidewalk coming up, the driveway. I mean, it's funny how we don't really factor a lot of that in when it comes to, we always talk about household chores. We don't talk about the outside stuff, but you start outside in for that very reason. Yeah. Because
clearing out
curb appeal is huge.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard when you have so many neighbors that come by your house, and we have a lot of people that walk in our neighborhood, and we talk to our neighbors and text with our neighbors. And when people are constantly saying like, "Oh my gosh, your house looks great. It's like the best looking one on the block." Or
they mock you because you're always fixing stuff. You're always working on it. They're like, man, you guys need
we've
to
been
enjoy
told
yourselves
that like our lawn looks like a golf course.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not, but better than some. But so then, you want to keep up on that. You want to make sure that curb appeal is there. But and then do some of your own inspections as part of those repairs. So like, for example, we had our sewer inspected and cleaned out, and we went ahead and did an insect inspection and did some preventative maintenance for that. And we got a new AC this year, which we talked about. The furnace has been serviced. We just got a new hot water heater, and that was serviced. So those are the biggies.
Yeah, that's not all the little things that we're touching up and
they're done. And those look really, really good when you're going to sell your house. When people are looking at those sellers' disclosures, when they're making offers, they're like, "Oh my goodness, this, and this are already done." And that's what we're doing. Looking at houses too.
Sure.
We have a certain criteria that is to be met, because we don't want to be dealing with this stuff again for the next 5 years. We want to have a little bit of time just to enjoy our house.
Absolutely.
So, and then get bid for major repairs that you think you might have. If it's an AC or things like that. So if you think that your roof needs replaced, which ours was just replaced 5 years ago, that's a big one. Get a bid.
Or a brand new driveway because it's crumbling. That's exactly. A big one.
So definitely get a bid so that you can be realistic about your asking
and
price.
That way you're ready to go when that comes time to look at that and people say, okay, we know what that is, but the little things can really add up, but it's these big things that can turn people off real quick. You can always put a fresh coat of paint on the wall. Don't look at the paint color. Some of the little fixtures and stuff look nice, but it's really about the mechanical stuff, the structural stuff. What are those big things that could have you in a money pit before you know it?
Exactly. So, because you need to be realistic. So, for example, when we bought this house, the owners before us did not do an inspection when they bought it, which was a big no-no.
Big
but
mistake.
When we bought it, our inspector was very thorough, and they agreed to the terms that we wanted taken care of. While those terms ended up being $11,000 worth of repairs that they had to do.
And we sort of met in the middle on a few things. Honestly, we decided we could take care of some things too, just because we wanted to get it over with. We were running out on our lease at our apartment and needed to get into the house by a certain date.
So they might have gotten asking, but then they had to spend $11,000 in repairs before we even moved in. And that affects your cash flow, because you have to pay those people before you close and get that profit. So that's out of pocket.
We had bids on things that they then paid us to pay those contractors for after we already closed and moved into the house. So.
And lastly, because we're trying to keep this around 20 minutes, but full disclosure, all of our previous episodes around 20 minutes have been edited. So if it's over 20 minutes, it probably wasn't edited.
Yeah.
But
it goes fast.
The very last thing before that we're working on right now, and we haven't even listed our house.
I know. You think we would.
We're not there yet. So prepare for the listing. So Declutter, which is probably like the thing I'm most excited about.
We've been doing it over time, trying to be more minimalist, but it's just gotten a little out of hand again. And we do tend to purge quite often, but it's time for another purge. This is probably part 3 of a series of big purges, but we got a storage unit and actually got a pretty good deal on it. And honestly, we're going to start storing stuff in there that we don't need. It's going to make it a lot easier to clean when we're ready to leave. It's going to be easier to move. And it helps us make decisions on things that we are going to keep, things we're going to donate. We thought about selling some of this, but we may not have the time for that. So it really helps you.
And we're going to store things that we can live without until we get into the new house.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what the storage unit is for, to help declutter for showings and pictures.
That too. Yeah. Some of the rooms look really small with too much stuff in them, especially big items. We're already packing up boxes. I think we surprised our realtor how much we've already accomplished just in 1 week. But
because you have to get rid of personal items, so all of our pictures have to go ahead and come down, which is fine because you have to fill all of those holes and repaint anyways. So pictures have to come down, but you also need to think about things that stay. So after closing, so something that was a hot button this past week that I've gotten over. It's my curtains and my curtain rods. So curtain rods I knew had to stay, which was fine. I can live with that. But I'm kind of a crazy person when it comes to my curtains, but I have since let that go, and we will get new ones. So
they have to match, and these were really hard to find, especially at a good price.
So your shelves, all the shelves that we put up need to stay. The projector downstairs in our basement needs to stay, because it would be way too much work to take it down and patch it all this stuff, then just it stays and we get it.
We did a lot of fun things like our little barn door project. We've done a lot of upgrades and things that we just liked. We really enjoyed doing. They weren't even the big major structural repairs. And that's a little hard to not be attached to that too. You put some blood, sweat, and tears into some of these repairs and upgrades that you wanted to make and make your house a home, but we'll look forward to doing that in the new house.
Yeah. So we're still working on decluttering, but we actually have already had the photographer out. They went ahead and took the exterior photos for the pre-listing, because we're still about 3 weeks out until we go active. And so they put it on pre-list. And so there's some exterior photos already for people to get excited about it and possibly start driving by. And it's still nice outside. So the leaves are still on the trees. The grass is still green. I've got mums outside. So everything still looks nice. We haven't even had the interior photos taken. Those will be taken the week that it goes live.
Yeah.
So, and then also in preparing for the listing, what we've done is so much paperwork.
A lot of paperwork.
And
a lot of invoices and things we had to go find. List of all the upgrades and updates we've made. The money spent on each was really hard to go back and try to find or remember how much some of the stuff was, some of the agreements on things, inspections, and putting together our seller's disclosure is going to take some work. But all of it's very important. It's got to happen. It shouldn't be too overwhelming. Your realtor can certainly help you with that, but I don't even want to know how many texts and emails we've sent back and forth, how many hours on the phone we've already had this week. So
lots of work.
It's a time commitment.
Yeah. And so not to turn anyone off, from potentially selling their home, but like I said, we're not even active yet. And we've already put in all of this work and we have a long ways to go.
Sure.
So this week's call to order is to take a financial inventory. This is your friendly reminder. Whether you are a renter and looking to buy, if you're a homeowner looking to sell, or you're already settled and want to reduce your debt, get your financial house in order, because you never know when your circumstances will change. If you're ready for your marriage and family dynamic to thrive and not just survive, all it takes is 20 minutes or less joining us each week. It begins with a journey of self-improvement while you sit in the carpool lane, commute to work, squeeze in a workout, or get halfway through folding that laundry pile. Be sure to check out the blog at thefamilyorder.com and follow us on social media at thefamilyorder. If you're ready to start your journey, be sure to click subscribe so you don't miss new episodes every Monday.